Today, we are going to look at the safety in manual metal, arc welding equipment, and materials handling. So we are going to look at the safety measures that you need to undertake when you are handling this the arc welding equipment, plus also the material that you'll be doing the welding as per together. Because as you all know, safety is something very, very important. But maybe before we proceed, I can start by maybe taking the roll call to know the people who are present. So, David, I can see you are there, and Tekla, I see you are there. Now, um, moving ahead, we find that this topic originated from an occupational standard which has a unit competence by the name, what we call to perform manual arc welding. And the skill test in this form is to do what we call the manual arc welding and application safety. And the benchmark or criteria to be used is safety health is observed as per workplace procedure and Occupational Safety and Health Act. For the learning outcome, our like now to be like our objective or the main objective is by the end of the session, the learner should be able to observe safety and health as per workplace procedure and occupational standard and health act. So that is our objective today. So moving ahead to the introduction part. Now, when you talk of this so-called manual arc welding, maybe by definition, what do you understand by this manual arc welding? Mr. David? Yeah. Thank you. That is very right. So you'll find that you can also like it can also be called shielded metal arc welding, or sometimes they refer to it as stick welding. So as you can see from the slide, is a welding process that involves joining metal pieces together by creating an electric arc between an electrode and the work piece. Now, we also have a definition of the term manual. So you find that manual, this one, it basically refers to the fact that the welding process is controlled and performed by a skilled operator. That is what the word now manual means. Are we together? So in this process of manual arc welding, it has like a certain procedure which is normally followed. The procedure is one, we have an arc electrode, which is typically made of a metal covered by a flux coating, is held in an electrode with what is in a, what we call an electrode holder. The electrode is then brought into contact with the workpiece and an electric current is passed through the circuit. The electric current will create an intense heat at the tip of the electrode, causing it to melt and form a what? A pool or a molten metal that will now make these two pieces to fuse so that it will create a good weld. Now, so you'll find that when you talk of now what we call welding, we have the welding equipment, we have the personnel involved in the welding, and we have the materials which are normally used in these welding processes. So you find that all these three aspects, they need to be handled with care, and also they need to be what? To be safe. So in the first place, we are going to look at what we call the personal safety when handling manual arc. welding equipment. So maybe before we proceed, could someone maybe give a response what you understand by what you call personal safety in this process? Anyone? Yes, please. Yes. Yeah. That is very, very correct. So you'll find that now when you're talking about this personal safety, an individual who is involved in this process should be what? Should be safe. So one, you'll have to start by what we call using what we call the protective clothing. So the clothes you wear, like the overall, this one will have to ensure that it will protect you against what we call the sparks, the heat, and the what? The ultraviolet or the UV radiation. Then another personal safety that you need to look at is now the eye and face protection. So we find that this is whereby you need to wear what we call the safety glasses with side shields or goggles underneath the welding helmet to protect your eyes from flying debris, sparks, and what? Harmful radiation. So you need to be safe. Then another aspect to do with now personal safety is to do with what we call the ventilation. So in the room that the welding is being done, there should be it should be a well ventilated to prevent what we call accumulation of harmful fumes and gases. So welding produces gases such as ozone, nitrogen dioxide, and metal vapors, which can be hazardous when if inhaled. In fact, David, I don't. Last time you did some welding, I didn't see you protect yourself, and I saw you had some eye problems, right? Yeah, I think this is at least from now onwards, you are going to keep yourself safe, isn't it? Now, there is also the aspect of fire safety. So you find that when you are doing welding, you are prone to maybe a lot of sparks being generated. So you ensure that there is a fire extinguisher close to be able to prevent you in case there is a fire breakout. You are able to fight the fire well. Then we have hazards which could arise as an aspect of like as a result of electrical safety. So we find that those cables which are connecting the electric equipment, you should always inspect them so that also ensure that that electrode is not damaged, or in case there is wear and tear on that electrode, you should be able to know. Then we have what we call work area safety. That is where you have to keep your work area clean, free of clutter, or prevent trips, slips, and falls. So make sure there is an adequate lighting to see your workpiece and surrounding clearly. Apart from that, also training and experience is very important, because without training and experience, you won't be able to know what you are doing exactly. So that is also very paramount. Then at least there is what we call first aid kits should also be available, so that in case of an accident or a problem, at least you are able to help yourself. Then we have now the safety that involves now the metal, the equipment itself. So you'll find that you need to do what we call the equipment inspection to ensure that is what it's okay, because if it's faulty, it's likely to cause an accident either to you or even to itself. It might maybe damage. Then you also need to check also you will select maybe the correct electrode when you are doing the welding. So that one can be able to prevent that particular equipment from any damages. Then we have now the safety, which involves now the materials which will be used when you are doing the weld. So these materials, you'll find that they talk of like one, we have what we call the metal preparation. So you have to prepare the metal surfaces to be welded properly. So remove any coatings, paints, or containers that could be produce toxic fumes or affect the quality of the weld. Then you also need to do what we call material compatibility. So you ensure that the materials you're welding are compatible with the welding processes and electrode being used. Then we have material safety data sheets. So this one provides information on potential hazards, recommended or handling procedures and the appropriate personal protective equipment or the PPE is needed. Then you also need to do what we call, like, we have there is cautions that involve maybe the coating precautions, such as if a material is maybe a galvanized metal or painted surfaces, when heated, can release toxic fumes such as zinc oxide and what? Lead-based pigments. So you have to be very, very keen when you are handling all these. Otherwise, thank you for your time. Maybe if you can just go a quick one, perhaps maybe somebody to tell us one to three what we have covered today, please.
We learned about safety precautions during arc welding.
Yes, David? Mhm. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yes. Mhm. Okay. Thank you very much. So that is the end of our class today. Hoping to see you next time. Thank you very much.